Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the Dumbbell Single Leg RDL. We're going to be taking a pronated grip with the weight bearing arm. This is a great exercise for your hamstrings, and if you find that one of your hamstrings just tends to be stronger than the other or less flexible, let me put it that way, then this is a great way to really stretch that hamstring out and make it a little bit more even to the other one. Also, it helps develop more muscle in that area. You can also stretch and things like that, but if you wanted to do it this way, this is the way you want to do it. And then what you want to make sure is that you're standing right inside shoulder width apart and with the opposite hand reaching towards the opposite leg. You want to make sure that you're bending over, keeping your back straight, keeping your chin tucked, and extending the opposite arm to counterbalance. That way you have more balance. But before we continue with more tips, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
One key thing that you want to make sure you're doing is not excessively bending the working leg. What you also don't really have to be focusing on that much, I find, is that back leg doesn't have to be perfectly parallel with the ground when you're going down. It's not a big deal. It's just basically taking pressure off of that leg, the right leg in this case, so that you can put the vast majority of that pressure on your left leg, which is your working leg. What I also like to do is use that opposite arm to counterbalance. You don't have to do that, and I've seen people do it without doing that, but I like to do it because it just helps me balance a little bit better, and it helps me not have to focus so much on balance and more on the actual stretching and the contraction on the working hamstring. Another key thing that's crucial when you're doing this exercise is to make sure that your back stays straight. I would say that you can definitely get injured doing this exercise if you're either extremely unflexible, like you could barely touch your knees, let me just say. It's very unlikely that you are, but I can see someone seriously getting hurt if they do that. They have that level of flexibility and they do this exercise. However, the vast majority of you guys will not. So just make sure that you're keeping your back as straight as possible. So arch your lower back, push your butt back, and make sure that you're hinging at the hip more than you're bending at the knee. So there could be a slight bend in the knee, that's fine, but your knee can't, you basically can't just be squatting down on one leg. Another key thing you want to make sure you're doing is keeping your core tight and keeping your chest up. Even if you're facing down, like if your chest is facing down, it can still be up, meaning you don't want to curl over, and that's why your back has to stay as straight as possible. Another key thing is to make sure your chin stays tucked. Now let's talk about some of the common mistakes that I see people make, and I want you guys to avoid. First one is limited range of motion. This is pretty much pointless. If you're going to do it like this, don't even do the exercise. The next thing is keeping your chin up. You're going to lose balance a lot easier if you keep your chin up because you're not focusing on something that you're going towards. So make sure that your chin stays tucked and don't look up. Another thing is when you excessively shrug your shoulders, that also makes it really hard to balance because that's just another component and muscle group that you have to focus on. It's going to create tension. And then lastly, we want to make sure that we're not rounding the lower back or upper back like I said before. Keep your back straight, keep your shoulders back, and keep your chest out.